Network Entertainment.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program are the speaker's own. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. This program might include strong images or language and may not be suitable for all audiences. This podcast was mainly created for fun and entertainment, and because we're the only podcast that has a big enough bravado to talk about all these. Viewer discretion is advised.
I hate the fact that Rowen and I have the same background, like the belt right there. And what I hate more is that mine is a toy belt, and I've held Rowen's belt, and I literally wanted to run.
I have a toy belt. This one.
I literally wanted to run.
Should I get my belt?
Oh, come on, man! Don't do that to me. Oh, man. So, I'm just like, I applaud myself. I feel like as a wrestling fan, I have made it and have guested the pillars of, wrestling podcasting. It feels surreal to me that to have all you three like in one room. So I wanted to ask you really quickly, being fans, and this might be a long take or maybe a controversial one, but I wanted to ask, let's go with Rowen first. Rowen, the topic is, who's your wrestling Mount Rushmore?
All right, this is pretty tough for me because I've been a wrestling fan for right now almost 15 years, and a lot of wrestling fans have come and go, and the list could change a bit for so many times. So I'll just stick with what I always have in mind. So of course my GOAT, John Cena, would be there. Yeah,
I love it.
He has to be there. John Cena, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Bryan Danielson.
Oh.
That's a good one.
That's a good Mount Rushmore. I don't know. I might want to go first. I'll go first because, I don't know. I feel like I can't top Emil or Rose, Mount Rushmore here. Let me go first.
Inuna mo pa si Rowen eh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Siya kaya mo
It's
tapatan.
No, it's not that. I just wanted someone first, to go. But I feel like Shawn Michaels, Cena, Flair, and Hogan. No, I'm kidding. Not Hogan. Triple H. Triple H, maybe.
Oh, that's a cancelable take.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's a controversial one. Triple H. A lot of people.
Where are
live,
we
pal.
at? This is the king of podcasts. But yeah, it's I'll probably Triple H is my last one. So yeah, those four. Pretty nifty crew. I don't know, Ro, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. It's okay. I got Eddie Guerrero, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, if you know him more in the WWE.
WWE.
Adam Copeland, Cope, or Edge, and syempre, can't leave out John Cena, the GOAT of our generation.
Yep. I think I feel like that's not a lot of people would put in Cope in their Rushmore.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's a really cool take. We tend to forget that he accomplished literally everything there is to accomplish in wrestling right now.
That's right.
So that's pretty wild.
That's right.
So, if you think about it, Mount Rushmore, kasi when you are picking topics regarding Mount Rushmore, you usually attribute it, especially with wrestling, you attribute it to the baby faces.
That's
right?
true.
That's and Cope has been a heel for most of his run. So, but yeah, I like the.
Ba't mo na-explain yung akin, Emil?
Yeah.
No, because a lot of people might not have Cope in there. I feel like I'm.
And he's a better heel too. There are wrestlers that are better heels. Like Triple H is a better heel. Things like that. So
Yeah. All right. So
Emil,
to
how say
round
you
out, yeah,
No,
to round out the Mount Rushmore.
Sorry, first.
Rowan.
Sorry, I would like to argue sure, Triple H could also be a great heel, but I do agree that Edge could be another great heel over the top, since he is like an ultimate opportunist, and he just did the smartest move ever by, marrying Vicky Guerrero, the authority figure, so that he can get all those opportunities.
That's
Yeah,
true. Jeez.
boy.
All right. All right, so my Mount Rushmore, Daniel Bryan / Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega. I want to put
Whoa.
Kenny Omega in my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Also, who else? John Cena. Again, I think that's pretty much a common take. And I want to say The Rock. You know, I can't believe no one has mentioned The Rock.
Why?
I mean,
You mentioned The Rock. I don't want to
Yeah,
mention The Rock.
yeah. That's why I want to give him some love.
Pakinggan kayo ba?
Because
It's
I
the
feel like
final boss.
I feel like the people who are gonna listen to this episode, there's a chance that most of them knows who The Rock is. You know, from the movies, and so I want to give.
His name is
love.
Dwayne. If you guys don't know.
Do I care about The Rock?
I first known The Rock as the Tooth Fairy. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That was his first exposure to The Rock.
No way, man. I mean, like he's all right.
And this is what. Yeah, this was one of the first things that the podcast knew about me, like how The Rock was introduced to me. He was the Tooth Fairy. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like with the
Wigs.
football like jersey and like padding on.
Yeah. All those
Yeah,
old movies.
pretty wild. I mean, it's like don't get me wrong. I like like we're looking at John Cena as probably like is he the GOAT for all of you guys? Like that's probably like the yung common ground natin eh.
Sige, I think it can be argued.
Yeah.
For me, kasi Cena is like the GOAT professional, but it's like not like the GOAT wrestler, right? And I think even he will tell you that. It's just more of he has the work ethic and he has the professionalism, so he was able to he was able to be the company guy, and for that he can be entered into GOAT conversations.
Plus, with I think WWE is really trying pushing Cena to be the GOAT because before it was Hogan. Hogan was the name most synonymous with WWE. But
That's right.
So they're trying to push Cena as okay. When you hear WWE, the first guy you would remember is John Cena.
I was just trying to echo Emil's sentiments about John Cena. Like, he was like the newer Hulk Hogan, but with the less controversial stuff. And I do believe he is the GOAT by ways of his wrestling style. Sure, he could be cartoony at times, but it's less cartoony than Hulk Hogan. Like how exaggerated how he did it before.
No, yeah, for sure. Like it's somewhat believable nowadays compared to especially now in this new era. Like everything's just way more believable. There are still comedic stuff, and it's for the sake of entertainment. It's probably gonna be there for the longest time, but it's still very much believable compared to where we were in the 90s or 80s or even like the early 2000s. Like it's relatable nowadays compared to back then. So yeah, pretty good stuff. That being said, welcome back to the Kingdom Podcast Season 5. This is Yuki, and this is the first episode of 2025, actually. We haven't released one because of some stuff that's happening in our personal lives. So haven't released one. This is the first one of 2025, and man, oh man, am I so excited for this. Like, my two loves in the whole world, which is wrestling and K-pop in one fucking mesh, and I freaking love it. Please welcome on the show the pillars of wrestling podcasting here in the Philippines. This is Emil and Rowen of Wrestling Podcast. You guys, flipping heck, man. So excited.
You're excited, but your usual listeners who are K-pop fans and K-drama fans will be like, who the hell are these guys?
You have no idea that whenever I talk about something that pertains to wrestling, like the people that listen is like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was so laughing out loud when you said this and that, and it was like,
Oh wow.
they love wrestling. It was like, this is not something new to the to our
glad.
listeners at least. So
Glad
yeah,
to hear it.
That's
so, yeah,
correct.
yeah, man. I appreciate you coming in. And before we start, do you want to maybe do a short promotion on where we can follow you, where we can find you, things like that?
Yeah, sige ako na lang. All right, so if Yuki says that he's been talking about wrestling on this podcast, and then you guys have been resonating with that, then you can find more of the wrestling talk over on the Wrestling podcast. It's available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, kung may Stitcher pa, and wherever have you. I mean, I don't know. May Stitcher pa. I don't know where else people get their podcasts. It's mostly Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
So we release almost every day. Every Thursday we go on a live stream talking about the latest in pro wrestling. Every Monday we usually have a audio only episode, and we also pick our best matches and segments of the week on Wednesdays, and react to the weekends on Tuesdays. So a lot of content for those who want people to process or to help process the wrestling they've seen on TV over the past when it's Monday on Raw, Friday on SmackDown, Wednesday on Dynamite, Tuesday on NXT, and wherever have you. So the Wrestling podcast. It's gonna mess a little bit with the SEO, but you can find us easily on almost all major platforms.
There isn't a better time to become a wrestling fan than now, especially now that WWE is on Netflix. Sure, not here yet, but I think at some point during this year we're gonna get it. But yeah, like,
do you have a month? Like
don't
on
know.
when that's gonna happen? Oh.
We're like Stan is working with WWE, and he has no idea.
He has no idea.
He has no idea as to when. Talagang wala pa
Oh,
talaga.
man. Yeah, it is what it is. Like we gotta finish the contract, I guess. Like when it comes to the network and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, probably that's it. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, gentlemen, I know that you guys are, K-pop fans as well. That's why you're here. It's like, this is not like a wrestling episode by any means. I want to talk about K-pop since this is a K-pop podcast, but I want to talk about K-pop specifically for straight men. It's like, oh, Yuki, putang ina, what is this bullshit? It's like, I get it, you guys.
What is the demographic of your listeners over on the Kingdom?
Oh man, mostly female.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, it's like 70% female.
ladies.
Yeah, hello, fucking Dalby.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
So yeah, it's mostly ladies, but it's like there are a ton of men still that listen to the show. It's like 30% or 35% are men, and like we're talking about for straight men here because I've been a fan since 2009. 2009, I've been a fan of Girls' Generation, and back then, putang ina, you can get away with a lot of shit back then, and it's like calling someone gay wasn't supposedly homophobic, or at least like
for sure.
it's not homophobic in a call out sense. But man, it's like if you like K-pop and you're a straight man, they would call you gay instantly.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like as a topic, it's like we can talk about K-pop for us, like our experiences and stuff. And I want to start it off with this, and maybe I can go with Ro first. It's like, is it more difficult, do you think, then compared to now?
To be a K-pop
to stand
fan?
K-pop, yeah. Mm-mm.
Then for sure. When you said that, liking K-pop as a straight guy made you quote unquote gay, I didn't have specific experiences with the genre itself, but I do remember not being comfortable with outwardly liking female music acts because if people caught you liking boy bands was bad enough because boy bands were generally thought to be for the women.
Yeah.
So if you liked women musicians and women acts, they will probably kids back in the day, guys back in the day would call you gay. And really, it was only until last year where I really embraced my repressed fandom of female musicians, female singers, female pop acts. So a lot of the stuff that I liked as a child, sort of Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Mandy Moore, M2M, I only really added it back to my playlist, or added it to my playlist unashamedly, unabashedly last year. And I think that what preceded that was me really liking K-pop and really discovering the K-pop acts that I enjoyed listening to.
Yeah.
So in 2020, during the pandemic, first it started with BTS, and BTS was, syempre, in my
biggest
mind,
one.
hindi naman the biggest one, but more acceptable, quote unquote, to
Oh, yeah.
listen to as a guy because they were a boy band, and kahit papano, boys still like boy bands, and it was
That's right.
kind of okay. It was kind of better for a boy to listen to a boy band than it was to listen to female music acts. Kasi that's what would have gotten you gay, gotten you tagged gay, quote unquote. Diba? So, and from BTS, I went to Blackpink, the Twice, and from there, I just ended up embracing the female act. So, baliktad siya for me. And now, it's not only is it easier, but I'm also, I also give less of a fuck about what people think if they hear me listening to all the women that I enjoyed listening to, because I just really love hearing. I just really love female singers.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I also think that it's more widely acceptable in current current generations, in current society, to be able to say that I listen to Twice, I listen to Blackpink, I listen to IVE, diba? Whatever have you.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like the current culture that we have is, obviously for the better, right? Like, we're more accepting of the of our good friends from the LGBTQ plus community. It's not really like we don't go out like in public and call people gay, and that's supposed to be a bad thing. It's not supposedly a bad thing. Even back then, like, I just wanted to clear that out. But as a straight man, it's like you don't want to be tagged as gay because sometimes, like, at least like dun sa time natin, it was supposedly derogatory, which in fact, like, it's not. Like, there were points in my life where people call me gay because of liking K-pop, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm gay. Like, you want to tussle? It's like you want to go one-on-one and stuff. So
Siguro for me, I didn't see liking K-pop as gay. It was really more baduy than anything. Diba?
Sure.
Parang it was more of a class thing, or hindi naman class thing, but more corny and more baduy than that it was gay. But
Sure.
mostly because I also didn't really know a lot of guys who listen to K-pop, whether it's a female or male act. So that I mean, it wasn't really gay to me. It just was more. I wouldn't
It's
be
like
listening
corny.
to that to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get you. It's like liking Jumbo Hot Dog, parang ganun. At the time, at least. and like that's something really prevalent too. It's like up until now, I think like there are still people that think that K-pop kind of corny, but there's like way too much people now liking K-pop compared to back then. Like it's actually cool now to listen to K-pop. Like you hear it on the radio, you hear it kay Kuya Grab kapag nagmamaneho siya, things like that. You hear it everywhere. So it's definitely different back then compared to now. But let's go to Emil here. Emil, how say you, man? When you started, how did it start for you? Like, tinatago mo rin ba and stuff?
Di naman. Nung elementary ako, this was at the height of the song Nobody by...
Oh, shit. 2009.
Wonder Girls.
Yeah. That was like... Every Christmas party, yun yung sinasayaw eh. So back
That's
then, back then, okay, it was the school that I went to, it was okay. It was, parang okay lang eh. Parang acceptable siya. And then I went to high school, and that was like the blind spot of my quote-unquote K-pop fandom, because I went to a male-dominated high school. And I swear I thought K-pop died because no one knows what K-pop was all about for those 4 years. Like, nawala siya sa nawala siya sa isip ko because, there's parang non-existent. Non-existent yung K-pop fandom doon. But I definitely saw parang, especially online, there was some sort of a bullying pagdating sa sa mga K-pop fans. I saw it online. And then, nung college, because nung college, medyo open I meet a lot of people now who really love K-pop. I mean, these were people na pipila talaga pag may concert. They would camp overnight. Some of my closest friends did that. Like, magkakamping sila ng gabi and then, maghihintay sila sa pila. And some of them are straight men. So, parang it gave me so much respect to the fandom that they are willing to do that. And so I just didn't care with all the hatred and all the corniness. And then eventually I got into it really with Twice, and I understood why. I understood now. Before, from an outsider's perspective, I can only I respect you, I respect the music, I respect being a fan. But now that I'm in the fandom now, I kind of understood it, and naging part na siya ng naging part na siya talaga ng music routine ko to always have a few bands, a few girl groups in there, so di naman ako dumaan sa parang nahiya ako maging fan ng groups or ng K-pop. Talagang nagkaroon na ng blind spot tong high school because I didn't even know that meron palang ganon because of the environment that I was in.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And yeah, it's a bit difficult to be exposed into something that's not exposed in your circle, So
exactly.
yeah, it's something very different, I would say, compared to back then. And I feel like our listeners would relate to that when saying that, it was definitely different and so much it's so much better nowadays. But Rowan, you've been liking K-pop how long now?
Gosh, paputol-putol actually, pero I would consider officially 2018 when I
2018.
discovered Twice. Yes.
Right. So you're in it for what, 7 years now? Oh shit! There's a thing in K-pop called the 7-year curse, where it's like after their 7th year, like either you disband or you just leave leave the scene and stuff. So in your 7th year, and even comparing it to 2018, how was it different?
Gosh, actually in 2018, pansin ko kasi, this was the time where lahat ng K-pop groups parang dumadami na sila, and I think at that time Momoland has just debuted or is getting bigger. Pero compared to like 2009, which is sort of my first exposure, which is like Emil, where marinig natin yung Wonder Girls with the Nobody song. Parang hindi siya ganun ka-mainstream. From time to time, I would hear that song, and then parang in the next few weeks, next few months, wala, iba na yung papakinggan natin. We're gonna go back to our typical pop culture music.
Hail Cliche, ganun.
I'm more into like mga Katy Perry, mga
Katy Perry, California Girls,
Justin Bieber, and then like 3 years later, Big Bang's there with the Wow Fantastic Baby, and then like I said, few weeks later, months later, mawawala, and then until it got revived again in 2015 because of Aldub.
That's true. Yeah, because they played that shit repetitively, incessantly, like horrible. And we talked about this in the previous episodes. Like, at one point I hated that song, Fantastic Baby. I hated it because of how much it was being played in Itbulaga. Hated it. Every fucking day. Like every time na may nakakatawa, wow, Fantastic Baby.
Fantastic
Baby.
Baby.
Like, damn, man. It's like, get another song. It was either Big Bang or God Gave Me You. Puking ina. It's like just one of the two. So, like, no hit on Aldub or Aldub Nation. I'm just saying that was overplayed. Just saying. So, yeah, Rowan, like, I get you. So, did you ever feel like liking K-pop back in 2018 was corny? Naramdaman mo ba yun?
No, actually, parang it's my thing na parang I wanted to be closer with the girls at that time, and most of my circle kasi puro lalaki. So I wanted to have lady friends, kumbaga. So I think one step closer to having lady friends is knowing what the ladies want,
Yeah.
and they're into feminine stuff, of course. So they're into K-pop. Sige, K-pop ako sa inyo. Until I
He's
fell in
honest
love with
siya, diba?
K-pop.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, man. Wow, chica,
we got caught in 4K, brother.
No, I get it. I get it, man. I get it 100%. Yeah, I get you,
Honestly, I
man.
just like that stuff. I liked it because I liked what it was, and it was it was a bonus that girls
That
liked.
girls liked it. Yeah, I get you, man. So, yeah, going back.
And, going back, parang ganun din, like, those times din, parang sumisikat sila Dua Lipa, Camila Cabello. So right now, I'm like into Sabrina Carpenter. So
Me
it
too.
just keeps on going on and going on. Yeah. Emil, sino si Sabrina Carpenter?
That's
Emil,
an inside joke, by the way.
okay, no, you gotta tell me. You gotta tell the listeners. They might probably know. What do you mean?
No.
Who's Sabrina Carpenter?
No, because this was when I first heard of Sabrina Carpenter. I legit thought na she's a descendant of the late Karen Carpenter.
I love it.
This was actually nalaman ko na talaga kung sino si Sabrina Carpenter because people always love to refer Tiffany Stratton as
That's
Sabrina
right.
Carpenter.
She looks like Sabrina Carpenter a whole lot. Yeah. Well, they're both singers. I guess they're both blonde. So yeah, I mean, so here's another quick topic to go further. So, what got you guys into K-pop? So what was like since we all had that first experience with probably like for Rowen and Emil here, Wonder Girls, and then Ro back in 2020, BTS. But what was the catalyst of like, oh my god, I actually want to listen to this thing now? What happened? What did you see?
Sige, I'll
Yeah,
start.
go for it, bro.
Sige. In 2020, so my girlfriend at the time started listening to BTS, and it was through BTS first. No, I didn't know they were a rap group. Nung umpisa,
Yep,
when I
that's
first started
right.
listening to them. So when I heard that they were a rap group, and then when I heard Blackpink, actually mas tumatak sa akin. So when I heard Blackpink, I was so amazed by what their genre was.
Yeah,
Which is technically K-pop, but they were also doing
doing their own
really
stuff.
hip hop sounds, almost R&B sounds, and I was so taken aback by how they sounded because I always thought K-pop was more poppy than anything. From
That's right.
Yeah, the earlier examples of the Wonder Girls, 21, Momoland. Akala ko it was always just the pop sound, the bubblegum pop sound. But then I didn't know that K-pop could be hip-hop inspired. It could be electro inspired. And in the case of Twice in 2020, when they came back with I Can't Stop Me, I didn't know that they could be 80s new wave inspired, diba? So the musical diversity of K-pop was surprising to me because I was a casual to it. And I didn't know, I was unfamiliar with the game, so the meme goes, diba?
Yeah.
So that's what drew me in, and I really only started listening to Blackpink and Twice because of how deep their musical influences were and their production were. So that's when it all started for me, talaga.
It's actually just liking the songs, like literally
Yeah.
liking it. Yeah, I hear you, man. And I love the fact that you said I Can't Stop Me because that's the best Twice song of all time. Just
Yes.
saying.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's a valid take. I would
Yeah.
I would kind of agree with
It
that.
is the take.
And like they did that in English. And I've been a listener of K-pop for what, like 15 years now. Or and I feel that I Can't Stop Me, the English version, is the best sounding and best like when it comes to pronunciation. That's
Yes.
the best
It was
English
so
version
crazy,
song
yeah.
from a K-pop group I've ever heard.
Agree. Twice is amazing sa English versions of that.
That's right. No, agree 100%. Rowan, let's go with Rowan first before Emil. Rowan, it's like, what was the turning point for you? Pucha, I gotta listen to K-pop.
Well, it's just that marami ng K-pop group at that time na 2018 where I first discover Twice. Actually, parang mas na-discover ko pala una is Blackpink when I had this lady friend who introduced me to Playing with Fire. Pero I like the instrumental. Pero hindi agad ako na-hook. Mas na-hook ako when I got into Twice, when I first heard Heart Shaker, TT, and then nandiyan na na-discover ko other Blackpink songs as well as Red Velvet and all those good stuff.
Like there's I might go for like commenting on that later on, but let's hear Emil first before anything.
All right, so again back then, casual na ako back then eh. Like with Nobody, Hot Issues, still one of my favorite.
Damn,
K-pop
man.
songs.
Old school.
Yeah, that's a throwback for some people.
Pucha. Some people might not even know what that song is. And
Oh my
I don't blame
God.
them. I don't blame them, man. We're kind of old, you know. So,
Hot
So,
Issue, yan. So, but I really got into it with two groups, Twice and Blackpink. Ganun din. And it was just, at that time, I wasn't doing anything. Kakagraduate ko lang. I was like, nag-chill lang muna ako before working. And, I'm just like scrolling. Actually, it was because of a vlog. Because nanonood ako ng mga vlogs ni Kong TV. And there was a point that all of the guys there, all they can talk about is Twice. So, okay, I got interested. So I watched a music video. It was What Is Love. And I got hooked instantly.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
And
love
then-
the song too. It's like
gotta love the
freaking
song.
good song.
Yeah, that's a key part to it. Just one song that can, and that's it. And then after that, and then I discovered Blackpink. As If It's Your Last is still one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. And then so now Red Velvet, Bad Boy, man, I love that song. So Then I really started adding it to my playlist, and then it went on. Basically snowballed from there.
Fantastic. Like can I just say, like, my respect for all three of you just multiplied by 10 with the songs that you were saying. It's like, okay, these men have good taste, Yeah, no,
wow.
I kid you not.
I'm
Like,
super basic though.
no, man, that not at all. Like the music that you listen to, and you're not like you. I feel like as fans, you can be critical towards the groups that you like, and that's something that a lot of the K-pop fans that tend to, go across like any of our content tend to not understand. It's like we love the groups, but we're not supposed to like all of the things that they release. And I'm really like I'm so glad that the things that you like, or at least like for me, right? In my personal taste, the songs that you're saying are the songs that actually, like, oh my god, that resonated with me a whole lot as well. And that's pretty cool, It's like I Can't Stop Me and What Is Love, and not like freaking I don't know, what was their song, BDZ, like a bulldozer.
Like a tank, like a shoulder.
Let's hurl, so like something like that. So like I'm totally like blown away. But just to comment on what Rowen and Emil, and even you, Ro, like what you're saying, back then it was so different when it comes to liking K-pop. It was very like K-pop as a brand, their biggest asset is their looks. And I would say so, like, you can still make an argument that their looks, be the number one market. You get what I mean? But in this culture where everything is a whole lot accepted compared to back then, like, sometimes takes a backseat. And I'm not saying like it takes a backseat in a derogatory way, not that they're pangit, because they're not, obviously. They're beautiful inside and out. But their music tends to resonate more in the newer K-pop fans compared to, I guess, when we started back in 2009, where pucha, ganda, sexy, gato, ganyan, ganyan, and stuff, And that's the reality of things. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. A lot of straight men became K-pop fans after watching Maboy by Sister 19. It happened.
Oh my god, yeah.
It happened.
I wouldn't know. I don't
Yeah,
know what
it's
you're
like-
talking,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what
I
you're
forgot
talking
to
about.
mention that. That's
Oh man, yeah. You should look for Maboy by Star 19. So
Yeah.
it's it's a suggestive song. It's a sexy song, and a lot of my straight friends became K-pop fans because of that. And I'm just so glad that it's so different now. That you actually like the song. That you actually love the people that perform it. It's not only because they're maganda or cute or sexy. Oh my gosh, things like that. So it's more deep now compared to back then. I would say. So what's your take now? Like before anything, what's your take now on straight men liking K-pop now? In this day and age compared to then, is it like just going back to what I said? Is it more like deeper? Like is it deeper now compared to how it was back then? Do you still have friends? Not that you would say their name. Like do you still have friends na like K-pop because this and that is pretty or cute or ganon?
I'm sure there are people who do, but personally I don't know anyone who believes that more than anything it's because of the looks. Like yes, I can like a group or specific idols because of their looks, but I just really love bubblegum pop. Diba? I just really love female centric pop, and that has been a guilty pleasure of mine for so long. But for the bigger picture, I do think that beyond the looks argument, I do think a lot of guys rather, are now more in tune with their kawaii side, diba?
I hear you.
I
love
think
that take.
I think it's more comfortable now to express. Hindi ka na tatabuyin masyado ng mga tao online. Like
Yeah.
we got Emil's favorite content creator, Eric Eruption Tai.
Oh yeah.
dancing
Ting,
to
ting, tang, tang, ting.
ting.
Yeah.
And he's obviously showing his feminine side.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
The fact that he's super overdoing that means that kahit papaano, we did kind of progress as a society, and we are now allowing guys to find their inner ting ting tang tang ting, diba?
Yeah, I hear you.
Their inner rose apate apate, whatever have you. They're the guys dancing to What Is Love and whatever have you, and I think we are so great for that. Like we are more advanced than a lot more other societies because in the Philippines it's okay because we are a society that enjoys entertainment, that it's okay for us to sing and dance because that's what we do as Filipinos. So I'm so glad that I think we men are now able to evolve beyond the discourse of sexy siya, hot siya, maganda siya, cute siya as a K-pop artist. Diba? So I think it's what it is really.
I love what you said, and it goes straight to the core when it comes to being straight men, of being a straight guy, and supposedly hindi ka dapat magpapakita ng any kind of emotion, like let's say when it comes to heartbreaks, hurting in general. And back then, ba't umiiyak ka? Lalaki ka ba't umiiyak ka? And that's something that us as straight men in this day and age have evolved to, that we can show weakness. And that I'm not attributing liking K-pop or being feminine as weak. It's just that we can show our emotions like that, and we're not scared of being ridiculed by society by saying na ba't mo ginagawa yan. And I think that's a really good thing. Emil, how say you, bud?
I honestly can't top yung sinabi ni Ro. Pretty much explain it. Pretty much that's also
Pretty cool.
My feelings na it's much accepting na kasi talaga ngayon eh. Like, people yung kasabihan nga walang basagan ng trip. So, kung trip mo metal music, go ahead. Go express your love of metal music.
Fuck yeah.
If you love K-pop, then go express your love of K-pop. And I've been seeing a lot of men now being able to express that, by going to concerts, buying merch. May yung mga I've seen straight men who goes to events and brings yung mga stick, di ba? Like,
Yeah, light sticks. Yeah.
yeah, the light sticks of their favorite group, and it's just a wonderful thing to see. Na people can express their fandom, and they don't have to worry about backlash, or they don't have to worry about people saying things about it.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Rowan, how say you, man?
I'm gonna say similar lang kay Emil na parang walang basagan ng trip. And actually, at first, I didn't really care because as a wrestling fan, a lot of people would say na wrestling is fake and maraming babasag talaga ng trip mo.
That's true.
Like ruin your love for something basically. And na-anticipate ko na yun with K-pop. People would, let's say, call you quote-unquote gay or like, ano ba yan? Baduy, pang babae lang yan. Tapos, yung mga ganun na, nakakasira lang ng araw mo. So, I didn't really care about the negatives. I just focused on my fandom. And if I can like Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Dua Lipa, and all those people, what's stopping me from liking K-pop and all the female groups?
That's
so,
true.
Rowan, I love how you connected it to wrestling because ganun din eh. Back then, before, or when I was in school, when I would say I'm a wrestling fan, they would say the same things. Like, corny naman yan. Oh, manood ka nito, mas totoo. You know, it's the same thing with K-pop. And back then, when you tell people that you love K-pop, you also kind of get the same eyebrows. But now, again, people just doesn't care. People like, you do you. You know, and people, I think it's also because of what wrestling now, but wrestling is mainstream again, as same as K-pop became mainstream over the last 7 years.
I agree. And it's like, I still get people that whenever I talk about wrestling, they say, oh, puta na, hinampas sa ulo ng steel chair tapos wala nangyari. It's like, dude, I mean, what the fuck,
walang
man?
dugo.
Puta na, walang dugo. It's like, dude, we know, like, these people are actual friends in real life, most of them at least. And it's like, yeah, it's like, chill, man. We like the stories. Shut the fuck up. And I get it. Like, you know, walang basagan ng trip. And it's just that. Like, I feel like the baseline when it comes to either wrestling or K-pop, the baseline for everyone should be respect, you know? Like, there's something that we like. There's something that we see towards K-pop or towards wrestling that people don't, like, not all people see. And if you take it like with an amount of respect, like we should be all good with that, you know? Like you don't have to question why we like it. We just do. And yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So before we cap off, I wanted to ask you guys, we're big K-pop fans. I want to talk about really quickly, give me one sentence to wrap up Raw on Netflix last week. How did you guys like it? One sentence lang before I get to my last topic. Let's go with Emil first. Emil.
Wait, last week the debut or
The debut. Yeah. One sentence.
One sentence. Okay. Okay. It's a show to cater to new fans, is what I would say, because one sentence.
Yeah, one sentence lang. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a show to cater to new fans. That's what I think of the first show.
Sweet. Rowan, how about you, bud?
It was revolutionary, and I think it is for everyone. The show opened with The Rock, so that would cater for everyone talaga. Cause that's Dwayne Johnson. I've seen in the movies.
Oh, that's Maui.
So I think, yeah, exactly. So I think from there on, it's easy to have newer fans, and mas magiging mainstream na ulit ang wrestling.
Ro, how about you, bud?
Okay. My sentence is it's not the real Monday Night Raw. Yung nangyari last week on the premiere of Netflix. So what happened this week with Penta's debut and everything, that's the real Monday Night.
That's Raw.
But
Yep.
That's the real Raw that you should be tuning into every week.
Kumbaga, this week was back to regularly scheduled
programming. Yeah, that's true. My take from last week, the debut was it was really Hollywood, and for a good cause. You know, it had to turn heads and stuff. So yeah, good shit, you guys. One last topic to wrap us up before we go. So I want each one of us to give one K-pop song that would be a great entrance theme for one wrestler.
I have something.
For one wrestler?
One wrestler.
one
I love
wrestler.
my entrance theme.
And then, you could do your entrance theme. Like I think that's not bad.
Easier.
Yeah.
That's easier.
But okay, let's do that then. So let's do one for one wrestler, and then one for your entrance theme. So I don't know, Rowan, you want to go first, bud?
Yeah, well, actually, funny thing is, I was like playing the first EA UFC game back in 2018, and this is kind of where I discovered Twice. And my playmate played this song from Twice, which is TT, and he used a Korean player, a Korean fighter. So parang he muted the background of the UFC game and then used that as an entrance theme. And then we did all those what do you call this? Cliche K-drama moments where like, oh, I'm gonna fight first before I chase you in the airport, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So okay, so if an entrance theme for me back then I was training jiu-jitsu. So naisip ko, if I'm gonna have an entrance theme, I'm gonna use TT, and I'm gonna do it for the lols and also to cater for or have more female friends, parang ganun.
I hear you, man. So how about for one wrestler? Can you name me one?
I'm having a hard time thinking of one. So, gosh, it's hard to mix something or like try to match something with someone. So I'm gonna say not applicable for now.
Wow.
Okay. Good shit. Emil, how about you, bud?
For me, if there is a song that I could use, K-pop song, Iconic by, I think it was Aespa, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that would be. And for a wrestler, Pretty Savage by Blackpink. I always thought that can be used as an entrance theme. So like I'm thinking of maybe one like maybe Tiffany Stratton. Who knows? You know, they're Pretty Savage.
Okay.
Blackpink. That's mine.
Good shit. Ro, how about you, bud?
I've always wanted to enter to I Can't Stop Me. When I first heard it,
Really? Okay.
I thought it was a perfect entrance song that I would want to, rush into the arena with the synths and everything.
I hear you.
For a wrestler, I would pick Agus D. the Chita for John Moxley.
Oh my god.
I gotta hear that.
Oh man. I think like if you know, you know. I get you, man. 100%.
It would be the other theme I would pick for myself.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'd say like I like if I go in, I probably would go in with Shung by Taeyang and Lisa. If I were like that's my entrance theme.
I will listen to that.
Yeah, Shung is pretty chill. Like it's cool. And then I would go Alexa Bliss Shut Down by Blackpink.
Okay.
I think like with her return, it's inevitable, right? With her return, I don't know. Like I'm pretty chill with her entrance theme. I like the first version compared to the newer one, but I think she needs like a new theme to, to come back with. I think Shut Down.
Also, you
would
don't.
probably be cool.
So you don't like the stand up, shut up.
Yeah, no. Not as much as her first one. It's like it's just like the synths and everything just hits way harder. So yeah. So before we go, guys, like let's please invite the people that listen to the Kingdom Pod to listen to WWP.
Oh, sige, Emil, ikaw na. I already did the first plug.
Yeah. All right. So if you like wrestling and if you like wrestling talk, we are the longest-running Filipino episodic weekly wrestling podcast. So we are the Wrestling Podcast. We release episodes every day. On Thursdays we do a live stream on our official Facebook page. Yeah. So you can get it whatever you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever, Google Podcast, if it's still a thing.
It's not. It's YouTube Music now.
Oh, YouTube Music. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And follow us on all our social media pages. Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, Wrestling 2X Pod on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, speaking of OnlyFans, sabihin mo na, Emil, may Patreon tayo.
We also
Patreon,
have, yun.
And GANK.
If
And
you
GANK.
want also to support the podcast, we have our Patreon and GANK pages, patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod for $5. So that's a monthly subscription. Just to, support the podcast. We also hold some events pala. So
something's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, something's coming up. This February the 2nd is the Royal Rumble viewing party that's at Skinny Mike's. What's the exact address?
W5th. W5th.
Yeah, they have
W5th.
Yun. So early bird tickets, it's a $450. Medyo paubos na. We opened today,
I just got mine during this call, and I had to send it to Ro.
I had to tell him.
It's like, shit! I've almost missed it.
So there's a chance there's a chance na when this episode comes out, ubos na yung early bird tickets.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
I think pwede mag-walk-in, no? But
No.
still,
I don't want to promise any walk-ins.
Yeah. So
the
we're not
space
gonna-
is small at the moment, so
So
So yeah.
that's what it is.
So yeah, please, everyone's this comes out next week, so it's the week of the 20th. Please get your tickets right now. It might have been already done, so
Probably.
you got to follow them.
By then, wala na.
Yeah, most likely by then.
Sorry, y'all.
So fuck, bro. Let me quickly get me your socials and Emil and Rowen. Go for it, like your own one.
My socials are at Roiswar, ROISWAR on TikTok, on Twitter and Blue Sky, and at shang.daddy, SHANG.DADDY on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. So go check me out over there.
Alright, mine is EML_Meister on X and Instagram, also on TikTok and Blue Sky.
All right. You can find me on Twitter, Monday Night Rowen, NITE on Twitter, and NIGHT anywhere else. Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, what have you.
Flippin' heck. And I just remembered Emil and I have the same handles.
Yeah.
Mine's Ukemeister. It's like
Ukemeister.
Emil
Yeah.
Meister. So yeah, flippin' heck. That's the show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to our first episode of 2025. My name is Yuki. This is the Kingdom Podcast Season 5. We'll see you again real soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
The Kingdom Podcast is brought to you by the Kingdom Podcast creative team. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at the Kingdom Pod PH. All episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Thanks for listening to the show, and see you next time.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.